What's up, y'all? You know what time it is? It's about to be that time.
Savage.
There we go.
Yay.
All right.
We are live now. We're back.
Hey, everyone.
With another Theory for Theory. Special guest today, one of the most requested guests, absolutely. Tekking101.
Hello. Thank you for having me on, Randy.
I appreciate you,
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah. I especially, wanted to do this because we didn't get a chance to talk at the Reverie.
Not really. Yeah, because I was the one that just happened. I was in California, and I ended up getting COVID. And the day of the Reverie, that was like when I was the most sick. And God. Everybody, it seems, has a different, because COVID has every symptom in the book attached to it. So it seems like everybody has one symptom that's more prominent than others. And mine was a sore throat. Mine was the worst sore throat I've ever had of my life. And I couldn't even talk for that whole day. So yeah, I don't think I could have joined, but here we are now.
somehow Roger did it.
Oh my God. I guess he had a different,
it
was different for him, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it affects you. It affects everybody differently.
It does. I've known somebody that had it and it was a fever and they just had this insanely bad fever. And I didn't even have a fever. I was just, just sore throat and just kind of a really shitty cold, but I got through it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are, one of the the absolute staples in the community, man. When I do these collabs, I like to find out everybody's origin story.
Oh my God. Okay.
What was your introduction to One Piece? Where did you when did you become weekly?
Oh, yeah. Just reading everything weekly or talking about it on YouTube. Yeah. So I started with One Piece. I think a lot of Americans did with the 4Kids dub. So it's it's bad. It was really bad, but it got me interested in the story, if nothing else. And it's I was 12 years old when I watched it, so things like the accents and Sanji's lollipop never really bothered me when I was a kid or whatever. I kind of like the rap. The rap is actually kind of catchy. But I watched that. And then, a couple years later, I discovered the Funimation dub, and I think I started reading it weekly when I was in high school. I was probably a sophomore. I would read it in the computer lab at high school. And it was the week I graduated high school, I actually started talking about manga weekly. It was Bleach at first, and then it was One Piece, Naruto for that first summer, way back in 2011. I would do the big three, and then it was just Bleach for 5 years, and then Bleach ended, and now One Piece. So and here we are now. I'm old.
That's okay. So am I. I mean, I was with One Piece before the 4Kids dub even came out.
See, oh yeah, that's right. I think you told me that before, or somebody mentioned that. That is insane to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being upset that 4Kids got the rights, and being a young, I don't know, I was either 12 or 13 or something like that. And I actually wrote a letter to 4Kids, please do not do this. Do not do what you did to, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon.
Please, wow, you were a very, critical, 12-year-old, because, when I was 12, I was just Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon, yay! I wasn't even worried about, production companies or who got the rights to a certain series at that age. I was just whatever's in front of me, I'm just gonna watch. You know what I mean?
By that point, I might have been 14. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
All right, you might have been an edgy teenager that's oh no, not 4Kids, because Yeah,
I was definitely at that edgy age. I mean, I was already, helping run Arlong Park, and I was working with Kaizoku fan subs. And,
right.
And just trying to promote exactly why One Piece is good, and then suddenly here comes 4Kids, and it's just there is no way that this is going to be good.
So that's remarkable to me, because I've been doing this since 2011, but you've been here really since the beginning in the community, from if you're Arlong Park forums back in 2005, 2006, that's even
there was
before
actually
YouTube,
an Arlong
really.
Park forums before the Arlong Park forums. So
right.
it was actually in like 2002, 2003.
So that's well before YouTube even existed. So that's insane.
Yeah. And when YouTube started, I actually did do some content on One Piece. I mean, it was really like edgy teenager dubs of the anime, which ended up getting my channel taken down.
Well, that was back in the era when copyright, nobody really understood how that worked yet. So it's like all those old AMVs, they would get taken down constantly. Yeah.
I had hundreds of thousands of views on those videos, and it was just like... And then by 2006, when they took everything down, I was like, I'm done. And then, I don't know, what was it, 2019 or whatever, I was like, you know what? Let's do
bring
this
it back. Let's try it again. Why not? You know what I mean? I was kind of like that too. I started YouTube in 2009 when I was 16. I did video game stuff for like 2 years or like 1 year. And I'm like, this isn't taking off. I only had like 50 subscribers. So like a whole year, I was like, I'm done. I tried it. It failed. I'm probably just going to delete the channel. And then on a whim, I did the anime thing, and that really took it off from there, the manga reviews. And so I'm like, all right, here I am 10 years later, you know?
Yeah.
So
shout out to my member, very motivated member for 16 months. Said, we've been begging for you, Tekking. So happy that you're here today.
We're here.
Yeah.
I got Barry. I got the potted plant. We're all good.
CJU 1000 Yosh said, let's get my lunch break started, boys.
Let's do it.
All right.
I saw a dude earlier on here that was just like, man, it's Friday. I got Panda Express and I'm watching Randy and Tekking. So that guy is having like his perfect day right now. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's he's a staple as well. Every week is the Panda Express, and we're here.
Do you like Panda Express? It's like okay to me. There's just like a lot of other better like Asian places around here. Yeah.
So at the I don't want to upset my man who gets Panda Express every week.
It's fine. I'm just. Yeah.
When I was in college, I used to eat it. I used to go for the orange chicken. But the issue with me, with Panda Express is like every time I walked in there, like I would just see, a bunch of white dudes making my Chinese food or my Asian cuisine and everything like that. And I was like, I just need something a little more authentic.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So, it just didn't sit right with me. So I haven't been there in a while.
Next to the community college I went to, there was a Chinese restaurant and very authentic, very good food. And I ate there for probably like 4 years pretty regularly. And then I got norovirus once, which is like a food poisoning thing. And I'm like, okay. And then when you get food poisoning somewhere, you just kind of like, you can't eat there ever again, just because it's like, that's pretty bad.
I got food poisoning from Chinese food also in New York City, and I just it kind of put me off Chinese food for a while. Yeah. I mean, I still stayed with Thai and and Japanese and all that, but just Chinese. I only recently probably got back, and that was years ago.
Yeah, no, seriously, this was like 5 years ago for me, and I'm still hesitant to even try like a different kind of restaurant because of what happened. You know what I mean? Tangent already. Yep, that's what this is going to be. That's what I do for a living.
Yeah. So, let's see. Mark Creasy said this is already a bona fide classic. Dawn Knight with the fire emojis. Yeah, man. So, Wano seems to be ending.
Yeah. Seems pretty much wrapped up at this point. I guess there were only 3 acts to it, so that's a thing. Yeah. I was assuming there was going to be 5, but I guess it'd be funny if just like the next chapter's Act 4, and then the next chapter after that's Act 5, and then that's it. It'd be like just hurry up and rush through it. Right. But I think we only probably have like the next chapter might be the last one. In all honesty, like the way it's heading now. Yeah, I mean,
I like the idea of it being 2 more chapters, and then we'd be 100 chapters into Act 3.
Oh, that would be perfect. Wow, 100 just in Act 3 alone. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it started with 958, so... Yeah,
the Odin flashback, right before it, and then, my God. did it wrap up everything that you wanted it to address? Because with me, I'll just say two things that I need that I haven't gotten yet. And that's the chapter with Yamato to really deal with that situation, which will probably be the next chapter, considering how the last one left off. But I really wanted to see Zoro go to Ryuma's grave, and that was never shown. So that kind of makes me a little bit annoyed.
I was really hoping after we found out that old Wano was beneath, and underground, that we would have gotten like, Shark Submerged, Polar Tang, like exploration of old Wano, and that's where Ryuma's grave would have been.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because, I mean, wouldn't he have been alive during old Wano, not new Wano? So then it also makes me wonder, how did Moria get his?
I mean, okay. So I guess it just depends on how fast it took for Wano to get old Wano to get submerged. Because if that happened around 800 years ago, Ryuma lived 400 years ago. So I guess it took like maybe the first.
Wait, is that a true thing? 400 years ago for Ryuma?
Pretty sure. I mean, I could pull up the timeline, but I am pretty sure it's been 400 years for Ryuma.
I didn't know we had an accurate timeline for Ryuma. I
can't remember where it was said in the story, but I've always said 400. But don't trust me; it might be one of those Mandela effect things.
The Bernstein Bears.
No, seriously, it might be.
Kazam, starring Sinbad.
Yeah. So so interesting point on the wiki. It actually does not have anything about 400 years being Ryuma. So that might just be something that might be, like another piece of information that's not official that I picked up somewhere.
Yeah, I just I don't think we've ever been given an accurate timeline for Ryuma, and
also Ryuma was a he was in Monsters before One Piece, so there's extra stuff there where it's like he was a real character in One Piece, but it's not the same Ryuma from Monsters because that was like in an Old West kind of setting, and it doesn't fit exactly.
Yeah, it's part of the Oda multiverse.
The Oda multiverse, yes.
Yeah, I mean, as far as everything else, getting wrapped up, I mean, I guess this transitions into, probably a fun topic of like just things that Wano essentially didn't deliver on, and, or things that are getting postponed. I mean, the Ryuma grave thing is certainly a huge one. Zoro's lineage. One of my favorite things that I really wish got expanded upon, and even in one of the more recent SBSs, it was like even just fired even more, was just a backstory on Sasaki, because I wanted him, based on hair color and the hat, to be Kokoro's son.
Dude, that would have been so cool. Yeah.
And in the recent SBS where Oda drew them as children, it looks like he's wearing Kokoro's literal hat.
Yeah, and it looks like he's also a fishman, very obviously. I don't think that was ever confirmed, but he clearly seems to be. Yeah. Sasaki, I feel, is the least developed out of all of the Tobiroppo. Like, he's there. All we really know about him is he used to have a pirate crew, and then he's kind of friends with Denjiro back when he was Kyoshiro. They were like drinking buddies or whatever. Right. And beyond that, we don't really know anything about him.
Certified drip.
Yeah.
It's about to get spicy.
I thought it would have been, it would have been great to just flesh that out for Frankie's fight, have some backstory there, and it was my main reason for predicting that the two of them would fight, and then they did, and I was like, oh, I think Oda's going this way, and it's just something that maybe he skipped upon. Maybe we'll get in a
I hope
Toby
we'll
Ripple
get more
cover
of it
story.
later.
I don't know. Let's see. Shout out to RS who said, Tekking, disappointed you didn't bring the jacket.
Oh shit, it's right here.
Two favorite creators. I appreciate you guys.
I got it. I got the jacket. There we go. All right. Jacket mode. We're good. All right.
So what's the story behind the jacket?
I bought it at an anime convention like 3 weeks ago, and I got a jacket now, and I just wear it in every video. It's like it's a running gag, kind of the same thing with Barry. So
do you see that coat? That's a lavish jacket. I like it.
I love this. I love the jacket. It has Grand Line Treasure Hunters, and then it has the logo on the back of it. Says Pirate King.
Ooh.
So I thought it was pretty dope jacket that I found at a convention. I don't remember the name of the the business where I bought it from, but they have good taste.
Ooh.
Certified drip.
Drip check.
Oh, that's nice. You have a soundboard. I gotta get a soundboard. I really do.
Yeah, I've got a soundboard, and I'm upgrading the streams. I just got a stream deck, so.
I gotta get one of those. Yeah, I gotta do a podcast soon over Bleach. So I gotta up my podcast game a bit. But yeah.
You see this jacket? Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, everybody's gonna lose it over the jacket, so we can move on, honestly, because the jacket's gonna be there for a while.
Right. So anyway, back to
yeah.
Wano mishaps. So I don't know. I mean, one of my big things with Wano was, some sort of. I wanted the Kozuki clan to address what they did to the Kurozumi.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Which, seems to be glossed upon. My big theory was that Tama was a Kurozumi, and it seems like Japanese fans have sort of confirmed that because they read the kanji on the grave.
The gravestone, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, it's nothing more than that. It's almost like Oda just saying, I see you, Randy, but I don't have time for this.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't have time to deal with this social strife of this clan. I mean, like, we can assume that, okay, Momonosuke is the shogun now. Obviously, he would not treat, like, Otama and the remaining of the Kurozumis in the same way. But we're just supposed to, just assume, you know what I mean? Like, he's gonna not show us. He's just like, yeah, Momonosuke rules over Wano. He's the greatest shogun now. Everything's good. Just trust me. Like,
right, yeah.
Okay, cool. I guess.
Feel like a lot of it is being left for us to kind of fill in the blanks right now.
Yeah.
It's a little unfortunate.
Little.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even need to be like... It doesn't even need to be a whole chapter dedicated to it. I mean, you could probably even have 2 pages of a chapter that just has...
I don't need a chapter, yeah.
Yeah, no, just a page or so of Otama speaking with Momonosuke and revealing she's a Kurozumi, and then they just have a conversation about that, and then that's it. A page would even be something that would be cool. You know what I mean?
Or a bunch of the Kurozumi just come out of hiding.
Yeah.
And then, you have Sukiyaki, basically decide, all right, well, I can't hide any longer. I'm sorry for everything that happened to you.
That'd be good. It'd be cool. Also, we could see a lot of members of the citizens of Ebisu Town, that old lady that we met. Maybe she was a Kurozumi the whole time. A bunch of people we met throughout the entire arc were actually hidden Kurozumis somewhere in the country. And It's like, oh, we know all these people. These are nice people. They're not evil like Orochi was or anything,
Yeah, and then Momo just laying the law down and saying everybody's going to live together harmoniously now.
Yeah, this is going to be equality now. Yeah, we're not going to do this anymore. Just because Orochi was a dick doesn't mean that we're going to burn his entire family down,
Let's see. They're calling it the jacket no me.
It's the jacket fruit. I have a completely different perspective on that fruit now. It's the best fruit in the entire One Piece. Best one.
Oh man.
Here's one about carrot. How do you feel about carrot, Randy?
I'm a little bit savage. I'm a little bit of a savage when it comes to carrot.
Yeah.
Carrot stocks were high in Whole Cake Island, and they
were very high.
Yeah. They were like GameStop levels and
Bitcoin.
Yeah, but I mean, my guys are probably tired of this analogy, but it's just in high school, everybody's got tables, everybody's got cliques, and everybody, people sit over here, the jocks sit together, the goth kids sit together. If the Straw Hats had a table and the Minks had a table, she sat with them in Whole Cake Island, but once Wano came over and there was a mink table, she just left the Straw Hats and sat with them the entire arc.
That's what they did. Yeah, that's what they did. And I even said this too, and my fans are probably tired of me saying this because I've said this before. It's look, she did a lot of stuff during Whole Cake. If Oda utilizes her more with the Straw Hats in Wano, and we see her palling around with the Straw Hats and fighting alongside them, then she might join. But that clearly did not happen. As soon as we got to Wano, she spent the entire arc with Inuarashi and the Minks. I can think of only 2 chapters out of like almost 150 chapters of Wano, like 2 chapters where Carrot does stuff, and that's when her and Wanda teamed up to fight Perospero, and they went Sulong, and they were defeated off screen. And then the chapter that we just got, where she was made I guess it would be the title would be Duchess of Zo, and that was it. Like, so.
I think one of the biggest indicators and areas where Oda could have inserted Carrot if she was going to join would have been Yasuie's execution.
That would have been beautiful.
Because it was a moment where all of the Straw Hats were, most of them were
most
together.
Of them were there, yeah.
And they were fighting together. And if Oda at that moment had Carrot there and showed Carrot fighting side by side with Zoro, Sanji, Robin, and Frankie, I would have been like, okay, because now she's actually with the people that she isn't really known to be with.
Yeah.
Half of the crew, she hasn't even had a conversation with.
Exactly. No, I don't even think she's probably met Zoro, but like, oh no, they met on Zo, but Sanji's the perfect example. Yeah. Sanji, they met it. Yeah. But it's like, we didn't see the dynamic there really with them. I would argue Jinbei too, but Jinbei showed up like right before the battle started, and even in the last few chapters after the battle's concluded, we've seen some scenes with Jinbei and the crew hanging out, so that's something. People have been saying, like, because I've come to terms with Carrot's not going to join, she's going to go back to Zo, and she's just going to do whatever. But there are people like, wait a second, Tekking, she might just ditch out on her responsibilities and hide on the Sunny and just pop out and just be like,
I mean, there is that possibility. There's credence for that. There's precedence for it. I even mentioned it in my review. I was just like, look, it's not a complete done deal for Carrot, because at no point does she say, yes, I'm going to do this. So I mean, maybe we're wrong, and maybe we do.
And there's the idea too that like she's not saying no to being the leader of Zo, but it's just like, I'm just gonna travel with the Straw Hats until their journey's over, and then I'll be the Duchess of Zo or whatever. And the Straw Hats' journey is not gonna be very much longer. They're gonna get to Laugh Tale within like the next year of like in story time. So, yeah.
So I mean, I've been saying since Act 1 that it's like Carrot's probably Grand Fleet material, leading the mace. So we might actually be getting that. Now, the same issues that we're definitely that we're talking about for Carrot here apply to Yamato as well. Yamato has a higher chance to join.
yeah.
But at the same time, interactions with basically only Luffy and Frankie, and Oda completely missed the opportunity to show us Yamato meeting the Straw Hats, hanging out with them while Luffy and Zoro were recovering. Instead of skipping those 7 days, that was the perfect time.
I understand why he did it from like, okay, we got to hurry up the story. We got to get to, moving on. But that's one of my biggest complaints with One Piece period is that we don't see the Straw Hats just interacting enough. You know what I mean? Like, even when they're on the ship together, it's like, even after the 2-year time skip, it's like, okay, it's been 2 years since you guys have seen each other. Aren't you going to hang out and talk about what you did? And it's like, they kind of just wish right by that. We have to get to Fishman Island. We have to continue the story. I'm like, okay. So we can assume Yamato hung out with the Straw Hats for that last week and met them all and talked to them all, but we didn't see it. Yeah.
Oda should have just had one chapter where it was, Kinemon reuniting with Otsuru, Kiku learning about Izo and like processing that, and Yamato like meeting all of the Straw Hats and kind of having a, maybe even from Yamato's perspective or POV, like going around and meeting everybody, and then like everybody would just be like, okay, it's done deal now. But Oda wants to leave us on the edge of our seats, like, are they going to join? I don't know.
That reminds me of, there was a filler episode, but it's one of the better filler episodes of all of One Piece. It's right after Brook joins. They did a whole filler episode where Brook is on the Sunny trying to interact with all the rest of the Straw Hats, like what his dynamic is. And it's like the idea, like he messes up every time, but then at the end of the episode, he plays the violin and all the Straw Hats listen to him. And he's like, oh, this is our new crew member. He's so cool. He's like, yeah, I like that. Cause it's like, oh my God, actual interaction. That's awesome.
Right. They did that with Robin too. And
yes, they did.
The filler afterwards, like, she was like with Chopper and everything.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
I love that shit. So that's where the anime really shines, honestly. And it's been a long time since we've got a new Straw Hat. So the anime might do that with Jinbei too. Like after Wano, maybe we'll have a little episode where just Jinbei interacts with everybody. That'd be cool. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. So I think that, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty good segue into, our, hopes for where we're going now. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's, we
Well,
need those,
first of all,
we need those Straw Hat interactions.
We do.
need
First of all, let me just ask you, like, I don't know if you want to give me a percentage of something, but do you think Yamato's going to join the crew?
I feel like it's very likely.
Okay, I do as well.
I think that that's what's being essentially set up. Now, it just depends on if they decide that to go against their exact declaration in the last chapter, where it's like, I'm gonna live free like Odin did.
Yeah.
But that's also one of my issues with Odin also, is like, by living free, Odin created all of these problems that we had to deal with 20 years later.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, maybe Yamato, as the guardian deity of Wano, should, hang back.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
It's kind of mixing up the themes a little bit. Like going back to Carrot, when Arashi and Neko were like, Pedro died, he passed the torch to you. It's like, so you must lead Zo, and it's like Pedro left Zo to go and study the poneglyphs and see the world. I don't think Pedro would have been like, I'm dying, Carrot, you must lead the Minx now. That didn't really seem like the message I got from it. You know what I mean?
And at no point did Oda show us Carrot as a capable leader either.
No, at all. So, yeah,
Carrot
I mean, like,
was eating grass.
I love that. Just like Carrot was eating grass as a t-shirt. That's all you need to know about her character. Oh my God, that's great. But yeah, so I think the themes, everything getting set up with Yamato, she is going to join, but it's a situation with like, okay, is it going to be an issue with Luffy? Like, okay, but you have to join as Yamato, not as Odin. Like, where's that going to go? I think that's going to be addressed. But then there's the guardian deity thing. So it's, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted Momo and Tama for the longest as cabin boys.
Yeah.
The
apprentice pirates.
The apprentice pirates. I wanted them to be the the Buggy and Shanks.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Tama's an honorary Straw Hat at least.
She is. I mean, like,
Luffy didn't say
one
no.
of those. It's one of those things that was kind of just pushed aside. I feel like at the beginning of the story, it's like, okay, Ace promised Otama to like, okay, when you grow up, I'll take you out to sea and whatever. And it's like, okay, is this going to be a dynamic with Otama and the Straw Hats? And then in the last chapter, it's just like, no, I'm going to stay here and train to be a ninja. And Luffy's like, okay, when you get older, maybe you can join. And it's like, okay. And it's like,
Yeah. It's the retreading the same thing instead of taking it somewhere new.
Yeah.
But, I'm just happy to have the Scabbards behind us soon.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that as any disrespect to the Scabbards, but I just want my crew back.
Yeah, the Scabbards were, I mean, they were a mixed bag, honestly. Like, I never felt like there was much stuff going on with Ashura Doji, so he's dead, and I'm just like, all right, he's dead. Like, is anybody really going to weep for Ashura Doji?
That's why I was very, like, hard about, no, Ashura Doji is dead. I was saying that, and everybody's like, nobody dies in One Piece. I was like, okay, but this dude literally has no reason to be alive.
Yeah. And it's like when you have a group like that, you could sort of piece together like which ones are more expendable than the others. Kawamatsu had a whole backstory with Hiyori and then the prison. Izo, we know everything about him from Marineford Whitebeard's crew. Kiku has some stuff, but it's like, Ashura, what is this guy doing? He's like, okay, he was the head of some mountain bandits, and then Odin beat him up a long time ago, and that's pretty much it.
But his story actually went full circle. So
it did.
He was a bandit for a while, and then he redeemed himself by saving his friends. So
the nice story. It's just that, like, if everyone was going to die, it was going to be him. I was more upset about Izo dying, really. I was just like, wow, Izo got an off-screen death. That was, well, not off-screen. I guess we kind of saw him die.
Yeah, I mean, it happened. But at least he took somebody with him. So
he took out the Maha from the CP0. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, but I think like Oda's definitely ratcheting up more of the death with Wano. I mean, there's like, I think more characters that have like more named characters that have died in the last like 10 chapters than in most of other story arcs of One Piece. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like every chapter was just like 2 or 3 deaths for like 3 or 4 chapters.
I don't know if you read the last SBS 103. I did a video about that yesterday or 2 days ago, but Oda pretty much confirms Orochi's death there. Like, he says that because somebody asks, I know, right? Awesome. He's dead. But yeah, somebody asked him like, so what's the deal with Orochi? Like, do you have to kill him 8 times because of the fruit? And Oda's like, yeah, that's his power. You have to kill him 8 times. I'm like, okay, well, I went back and counted all the heads. There were 8 heads. So he's out of here.
Yep. Oh, man.
How do you think Hawkins is dead? First supernova to straight up die? Wow.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And Hawkins is a bum in my mind.
Really? I wanted to see so many cool things with him because I loved his aesthetic. I love the whole tarot cards divination thing. And I'm like, Oda's going to do something with this guy. And it's like, it actually might be a good idea to kill off the fortune teller because now you can't do like he predicts what the One Piece is or something. You can't do that bullshit now that he's dead. It's just like,
yeah, but
whatever.
also what happened to that like special card from like chapter 912?
Yeah. I never really understood his ability. I wanted it to explain more because he has the straw fruit, but then he also has like actual magic powers from the tarot. And I'm like, are these connected or how does that work? I don't get it. But yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I just, but the other thing too is interesting about Hawkins was that Oda, once said that he originally planned him to become a warlord. Like he had different plans for Hawkins like during the time skip. He toyed with the idea of having Hawkins be a Shichibukai instead of Law. And like have the Straw Hats go up against him, but he changed that.
Yeah, I think that might just probably be because Law was such a popular character when he came out. You know what I mean? And it's just like everybody wants to see more Law, and so he's just like, okay, I'll make him a warlord and everything. And then Hawkins kind of got pushed to the side, I guess. Everyone's like, what the hell? Everyone's like, what just happened? Did our audio spike or something? Because everyone was like, yeah.
So I tested out one of the buttons on my Stream Deck, and apparently I need to not use that one until
don't push the danger button.
Yeah, I hit the wrong button. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
So let's see. Get into a couple super chats here. Demon Gunner 7 said, Randy and Tech and big fans of you both. Something that I noticed that hasn't been talked in the community was the food Carrot was eating was Odin.
It was Odin, but I don't understand why that means that. Like they're in Wano. They're eating Wano food. Yeah.
People are using it to say she's gonna shirk her duties and and come aboard.
Oh, because that's what Odin did. I don't know.
Right.
Well, I guess we'll see next chapter.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Brandon King said, Randy and Tekking, the goats. Who do you think will be the true villain of Elbaf? Anella's Thor, Big Mom because of her giant issues, or Loki the Prince. I'm leaning towards Loki. I mean, I do like the idea of Anel coming back and being the Thor of Elbaf.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah. I can't wait for Elbaf. I've been researching so much. I love mythology anyway, but I just can't wait to get to that arc, even if it's not even that long. I just want to have a Norse mythology, just crazy video fest on that.
Oh yeah, and Oda's he's gonna go crazy with all of it.
Love
Jormungandr, Ragnarok, all of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Fenrir. They're like Usopp's gonna fight a giant wolf with his impact wolf. That's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Shout out to the 1,000 people we have in here.
Oh sweet, 1,000. Yeah. Nice. But yeah. So Eneru, I want him to come back because I just think like his cover story was the most fascinating cover story out of everything, and it's like it needs to be addressed at some point, whether or not he comes down with the like ancient weapon Uranus or whatever. I don't know if he'll be in Elbaf, but yeah.
Yeah. My big agenda right now is well, it's always been my biggest agenda is Vivi returning to the crew.
That would be fun. Yeah.
And I think that it has to happen by or on either before or she needs to be there in Elbaf because she was there in Little Garden when we were learning about the giants and everything like that and was there for like, you know, Usopp realizing his dream.
We don't have a lot of story left, you know what I mean? Like that's the part. We're getting to this moment where it's like I saw a thing where Oda said, or one of the editors said, they'll try to get it done in 3 years. I mean, once again, you can't take that like at face value. But it's like, man, if we're gonna do Elbaf and then we're gonna go to like Laugh Tale, and Lodestar's in there somewhere too if they're gonna go there. I don't know, but yeah, I would love for Vivi to come back just thematically to tie back in with the giant thing, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, my thing is I've been saying this for a while is a mini breather arc on Sphinx Island.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What happened to Marco? He just
disappeared.
He just left. He's just like, all right, fight's over. I'm good. I'm going back home. And then he just left.
Yeah, exactly. Maxo shouted out your lime bubbly.
Oh, thank you. Yes, these are my favorite bubbly.
Literally drinking one right now. Marco just, you know, left. He just, you know, Irish goodbye like the Straw Hats are trying to do to Momo and Kinemon. But the reason I want to go to Sphinx more than anything is because the proximity to Ace's grave. And I think before we go into the final war, Luffy needs to have that moment with the grave. And if Sabo happens to be there as well, then, you know, you could have the three brothers like reunited for a moment.
That would make sense too, because we don't know where Sabo and the commanders are at right now. We can assume they didn't go back to Kamabaka, like they could not. Kuma's with them as well. So it's like they need to go to a safe haven. We already know Sabo knows where the grave is. He's been there before.
Right.
And Marco's there, and he's a doctor, and they would know he's there taking care of the island. So Sphinx would actually probably be the perfect haven. I didn't even consider that, you know, but that, yeah.
And if the disappearance that Vivi had was, you know, a Kuma slap, then we'd have the last of the pre-time skip Straw Hats to get slapped by Kuma.
Oh, that would be cool. Everyone gets slapped by Kuma eventually. We just have to get Jinbei and Yamato on there, and we'll be good to go. Yeah. And also, you know, Neko went to Sphinx right before Wano, so it's probably not very far from Wano itself, you know?
Yeah, I don't think that it would be.
It might even be the island that they might be, because the island they're sailing to now is the southeast. It's like parallel to Wano. It's not like they're not really making a lot of you know, headway into the new world. They're kind of just traveling like slightly next to Wano. So it might be Sphinx, and they get there, and it's like the village is hidden, so you can't normally find it. So it's like, oh, most people probably just get there, see it's an empty island, and then just leave, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I'd love for it to be a situation where, you know, they get there, they have this moment. Maybe Weevil shows up because he's after Marco anyway. We wrap that up. Yeah. Tie that up all together finally. Yeah, figure out what's going on with that. Yeah, exactly. A little mini fight with Weevil. And then, like, after that, go to Elbaf, and maybe that's where Kid went, and then Kid has been, like, just wrecking a whole bunch of stuff there, and then that actually makes Kid the villain of Elbaf.
Yeah. Oh, that would be, because Kid needs a lot more screen time in general in this story. A lot of people are like, Captain Mid, he's nothing, and I'm just like,
the captain is Killer. Killer's the real captain.
Oh, Captain is... I love the fact that the dude is named... The dude's named Killer, and he wears a mask, and he has these scythe blades. You think he'd be like some kind of like Kenpachi Zaraki, crazy murder kind of dude. He's way smarter than Kid. He's way more practical and tactical in combat with him. It's great. You know, it's just
and
like
he is literally
he's the brains of the crew. Yeah, he's just a murderer. He
killed Hawkins.
Yeah, he killed Hawkins. Yeah, he has the title. Why would he take the title?
He lived up to his name. Hey, you know.
I actually really liked in the last episode when they had this. Did you see the last one with Killer?
They did some really great Killer stuff in that episode.
That was so cool, and I love it because you don't see his face, but even without seeing his face, you still showed like how he's feeling right now. I like the way the anime depicted that. That was really cool. That got some
They had
points
this
for me.
really cool shot, like a transitional shot of him like coming from out of like darkness with his like scythe, and that was like probably my favorite shot in the whole thing. Even
that was cool.
The stuff at the end,
because the anime department's looking at this, it's like, okay, we can't show his emotion because he's wearing a mask, so we have to get clever about this, and they pulled it off really well. Yeah.
Let's see here. Killer Confusor. When did it become public knowledge that Sabo is Luffy's brother? Recent chapters, lots of Marines just talking about that like it's just known. Well, I mean, I would assume Fujitora, may have been the one to out
Fujitora,
that. That information was given directly to him and a slew of Marines.
Yeah. They also know that Luffy's from Fuchsia, like the Goa Kingdom, and they know Sabo was originating from the Goa Kingdom, so they might just be able to connect the dots there. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So why don't we let's talk about the big thing of 1056. The Cross Guild.
My God, that's a bag of hammers to open up. Okay. All right. I don't even know where to start this. All right. So I feel like it seems like silly at first, Buggy's the boss of Crocodile and Mihawk and everything. But as I thought about it a little more, if they divided okay, you got Crocodile, who has already been the boss of an organization. He knows how to run that kind of shit. And then you have Mihawk, who's just ridiculously powerful. And then you have Buggy, who does have an ability. It's his insane charisma and his ability to sway people to his side. You put all three of them together, it might not be as ridiculous as you think. You know what I mean? It's like Crocodile comes up with a plan. He's like, we're going to put bounties on the Marines' heads. And he gives it to Buggy. Buggy's the one that hypes it up and then puts some a coat of paint on it. And then the whole world gets torn into upheaval. That could work,
Yeah. See, I think that this is all Crocodile's idea.
It might be Crocodile's idea. Mihawk definitely named the organization, though, because that's yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I think they're using Buggy, because I'm sure he's amassed some wealth and territory over the the time skip, with his delivery service and all of that. But I find this just so interesting. Obviously, the Baroque Works itself was a bounty hunter organization. So, here we're putting bounties on Marines. That sounds like Crocodile's whole MO.
Oh, no. That was definitely probably Crocodile's idea. Yeah.
And then Buggy just said it, Crocodile probably said it to Buggy. Buggy told all of his men. The men told the world, and it's just look at what Buggy's doing.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely being used, but it's not in a way where Buggy's useless and they're just using his name, because he does provide a function. It's like in a business. It's okay, one department figures out what they're going to sell, and then the marketing department handles how it's going to be, how to get people to buy it, right? It's kind of the same thing right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you need someone to buy something, Buggy's your man.
You call Buggy. I would buy any product Buggy sells. If there was a commercial where Buggy's buy this new soda. I don't even drink soda that much, but I'd be like, sure, Buggy, I'll do whatever you say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I want to run something by you. So this was something I get, because I put a whole bunch of cross-guild theories out in a video, and so one of my main things right here is who is Caribou,
talking to and stuff. Okay, yeah.
And this has been an issue since Fishman Island. When he found out about Poseidon, immediately he was just like, I know somebody who's going to want this information. And then now, once again, he learns about another weapon. It's like, Pluton. I know someone that's going to want this information, right? So my big agenda right now is that the person that he wants to give this information to is not Blackbeard.
I thought it was Blackbeard, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, and I'm fine with that as well, and that's been the long-running thing, but I think it's Crocodile. Because Crocodile is just obsessed with the ancient weapons.
Yes, and that's... Because, he mentioned earlier, in Impel Down, he's like, I'm not interested in Alabasta anymore, but that doesn't mean he's not interested in the ancient weapons. That's just, he assumes, Pluton's not there, so I don't give a shit about it anymore. But it's he's still interested in having the weapons,
So I did a whole, that was, a big part of a video that I put out. And then someone put this really great comment. I think their name was Bharat Rao. And they were like, what if Caribou was Mr. Six, because we never,
we never saw Mr. Six. We never saw Mr. 10 either.
Right.
Yeah, or Mr. 12. Yeah.
Right. So I loved that idea, but then I thought about it even more, and I was like, you know what? It actually makes more sense if Caribou was Mr. 10 because he has the X on his chest, right? And then he also in the cover story was linked with Drake, Diaz Drake. So I'm like, if Caribou was former Baroque Works.
Hold on one moment though. I think, because I remember I did a whole video about Baroque Works once. I think there was one that it might have been Mr. 10 that Oda released sketch art of, but he never actually showed.
Yeah, so he released sketch art, and the facial structure of Mr. 10. This is what I was gonna get at. Yes, the facial structure of Mr. 10 looks like Caribou.
That's not wrong. And then he could have eaten the Numa Nomi like later, and then he's like, I'm just gonna be a pirate on my own. And then, holy shit.
Yeah.
That would have been dude. If that happened, I would bake you a cake and then send it to you. That would be great. Yeah. Oh no, or whoever commented that or whatever. I'll bake you one too. Yeah. But like, oh my god, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the line of thinking. You know, someone says something and then it's like, okay, well, Mr. 6 sounds cool, but then I'm like, wait, Mr. 10, and then the sketch, and then it's like, this looks like Caribou, like.
Yeah, like a Caribou pre-time skip, right? Yeah.
Right. Like a little bit different and all of that. We just never saw it, and then it just under our noses this whole time, and it would just be a galaxy brain Oda move, and I would love that, because then what we get in an upcoming chapter, right, is Caribou getting on a snail, making a phone call, and then on the other side, you know, we just, you know, it's just like, Sashiburi da na, Caribou. You know, it's just like, and, you know, we cut to Crocodile, and he's with the Cross Guild. And then that's how we get information on that, and we get that natural transition, and we learn like, oh wait.
I was always my theory about Crocodile ever since he broke out was always like, okay, he has Mr. 1 with him. He's going to go into the new world. He's going to set up a new Baroque Works, but like a lot more like just quality over quantity, because quantity had like, you know, they had the billions and the millions, like none of that. I thought that would be perfect to get all the bounty hunters in One Piece. That is a group that's really kind of been pushed to the side. Get like
Drug
the 10 Yeah, Drug Pekla. By the way, I'm just because they just dubbed that scene in the English Funimation with the tea party starting, and so I was watching that episode last night. I have yet to do a whole video on the underworld rulers. I need to do that, but so yeah, get all of the mercenaries of One Piece together and the bounty hunters, and it's like 10 of them, and then it's like Crocodile's the boss and Daz Bones is the vice boss or whatever. Now it's a little bit different than what is happening, but that could still be the Cross Guild. You know what I mean? Like it's still there. Yeah.
I love the idea that we could potentially be focusing on bounty hunters.
Yeah.
In the story, which is something that, you know, has just been really just forgotten about since Zoro.
It's been glossed over. Yeah, since Zoro. Zoro was a bounty hunter. Daz Bones was a bounty hunter.
We had John Ango and Dressrosa, but I mean, like, that didn't amount to anything.
I mean, he had a cactus outfit. That was kind of cool. But, like, other than that, yeah.
I did a Theory for Theory with Parvision, who's another One Piece YouTuber, and, you know, he brought up the idea of what if Green Bull was a bounty hunter before getting drafted, and that's, you know, and I was like, that would be, like, an interesting take on it.
Yeah. Because like that, then you get the question like, what were Fujitora and Green Bull doing if they're this strong, just as civilians in the One Piece world? I like to think Fujitora was like, he was like the blind swordsman that was like he lives on the outskirts of a village, like a hermit, but he's like wicked strong. And then they recruited him, and then he joined the Marines. Like he was like training his whole life or something. Green Bull doesn't give me that impression though, so he was in some kind of line of work like that. Like if he was a mercenary, I could buy that. Yeah.
I'm just so excited. Like I'm like a Crocodile is probably a top 3 character for me. Like I'm a Crocodile.
I love him so much, and I'm so happy that he's finally back in the story. Like that took so long to loop back to him, but here we are.
And that he's going to be like a major part of this saga is just so incredible to me. And now it's like, okay, so this opens up the story for a natural progression and a natural way for Zoro to finally have his fight with Mihawk.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, does Luffy fight Buggy again? And then are we getting a Sanji versus Crocodile? You know? And then would Crocodile even know Sanji because they never actually ran.
They never actually met. That would be
Right.
funny. Yeah,
It
yeah,
would
yeah.
just be, because he can't say, "Hey, it's been a long time, Mr. Prince." It would just
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like, "Oh, so you're Mr. Prince." Like
You're Mr. Prince, yeah.
Like, man, I and then like we just have this smoker battle.
Oh, that would be, yeah. We need Smoker back again, too, as well. We get Smoker in on that. So Smoker, Sanji, and Crocodile all fighting together. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Even before we found out about the Cross Guild, though, I had with the Germa cover story that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's a little weird the way Oda's depicting it, because it's like those two individuals arrived at Whole Cake or arrived at Cacao Island, and you just assume that's like, oh, that's Ichiji and Reiju arriving to save Niji and Yonji.
You
But
think
it's
that those two silhouettes are two different people? That
I think they
weren't-
are. I think they are, because like the Germa cover story is just starting. They're only on like chapter 7. Sometimes these things go for like 30 chapters.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's like there's gotta be a main villain for them to deal with, and it's like, wouldn't it be interesting if it's like, okay, and Caesar's there as well, so it's like, okay, tie all the Germa together, they meet Caesar, and then what if it's Crocodile and Mihawk that arrived in Big Mom's territory? Now that we know about the Cross Guild, now it's Crocodile and Mihawk that show up, and then you get to tie
one of the
everybody back
shoes
together.
did look like Crocodile's shoes.
It did. And then so I thought it was Crocodile and Mr. One back then, but now that we know Crocodile and Mihawk are working together,
I was
I'm like,
saying
wait
that
a second.
too. I was
Yeah.
saying that too. Now I need to go and look at the other shoes and see if they look like
Look at those
Mihawk's
shoes. That's
Yeah.
a very Oda thing to do.
Do you
Kubo
see
did that a
these
lot with
shoes?
Bleach too. Yeah, like these are shoe that's at the end of the chapter. Who is it? You know what I mean? But then also, if Caesar's with the Germa and then they go back to the Cross Guild, then you'll have Caesar with Buggy, which I feel like has to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I love that because then it puts the this Yonko team, it positions them with a rubbing as well, taking advantage of the poneglyphs.
We have to start. Oda has to start tying all these things together. Like if we want these organizations, these groups of characters to be in the final saga, they have to start all coalescing into one thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm looking at the shoes right now. It's the Germa. It's chapter 1046 on the cover page, and yeah, it's like, I don't know. I just have this vibe that it isn't supposed to be Ichiji and Reiju. It's supposed to be some other character. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, it could be a situation where they, hadn't transformed yet, but I love the idea of everything going on with Germa and like fighting Katakuri and Oven ends up being the distraction for Crocodile, and if it's Mr. One or Mihawk to get that poneglyph.
I mean, Crocodile wears like the cloaks and it has a cloak. Mihawk has cloak kind of stuff too. He's basically like a vampire, for God's sake. So it's like, there you go. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I think now that we know about the Cross Guild, it's probably a good time to let us know. But I would actually prefer to have them in the main story, though.
Oh, the Cross Guild?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be in the main story. But this is, this cover story, though, this takes place right after Whole Cake. So this is like weeks ago. Yeah. So it's like, oh, maybe this is how the Cross Guild sort of began or something. Maybe Oda could tell that story. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't see a situation where we're getting everything in Whole Cake with the cover story, weekly, and then seeing anything with the Cross Guild in the present timeline.
Oh, we wouldn't probably get anything from the Cross Guild for at least a few more chapters, I feel. Like, I think Oda might wait on that. But who knows? I mean, we might find out something about it soon. But I got the impression that's like, okay, we know about the Cross Guild. Everyone's going to be like, how the hell is this working? Mihawk, Buggy, and Crocodile. And Oda's going to be like, all right, wait like 40 chapters and I'll tell you. Like it might be something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Since you brought out your jacket, no me.
Oh, you got your jacket too. Everybody needs a jacket. Oh, this is what YouTube's going to be in the 2020s. It's just going to be people wearing jackets. Yeah. I like that jacket. Oh, that looks comfy. Yeah. It looks like a Brock Sampson jacket from Venture Brothers, pretty much. Yeah.
Jeez, if I haven't practiced that impression, I probably would have tried it, but I probably would have failed.
Patrick Warburton is such a fun voice actor to quote.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, who's the man with the flame scar? We could talk about that. I think it's Aokiji.
Well, I mean, way to lead in. You just give it all away. There's no build up on that one. It's Aokiji. It makes sense if it is. Now, let's see. I mean, I like and don't like the idea of it being someone from Ohara, because I really love the idea that Robin is the only one. You know, people were in my chat were bringing up Clover, Robin's dad, just some random person from Ohara.
Clover was definitely shot and killed. He's dead.
Yeah, I'm on the Clover is dead train, and I prefer it that way. Now Robin's dad, maybe, but I get the impression that it's someone that either knows how to read it or knows what to do with it.
So I went with that line of reasoning as well. A lot of people were commenting that, like, well, the way Kid talked about him, it was like, we know about something that you don't, Straw Hats. We have like a leg up on you. We have an advantage you don't have. So it wouldn't make any sense if it was just a dude that could read poneglyphs, because the Straw Hats have Robin.
Got that.
Yeah, he's already got that. So what if he knows where the fourth one is? That's like the man with the scar knows or has the fourth one. That might be a thing. Yeah.
Someone said the jackets aren't even touching.
The jackets aren't even touching. I don't know where you are in relative to me. Yeah. And yes, fine. And as it was mentioned before, it doesn't necessarily mean they have a scar to be just a tattoo that looks like a flame or something like that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. I also like the idea of it being like an awakened Third Eye tribe member.
Oh, Third Eye tribe member, that has to be addressed. Oda sets a lot of stuff up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And with them even mentioning pudding, awakening and stuff, like, are we going to have something with that? I had someone super chatted like all the way back in, like, I don't know, 999 when they were talking about pudding, sitting up top, and Kaido was asking Big Mom, like, well, you have a Third Eye member as a daughter, like, can't she do it? No, she's not awakened yet. And can't remember who chatted it, but they said, what if the awakening of the Memo no Mi is to actually alter the memories or see the memories of objects, not just people?
Oh, okay.
And
I don't know.
So, like, you just stick your hand into the poneglyph and then,
you know what it means. Yeah. I don't know, because it seemed to indicate it was because she was a Third Eye that was like, that's what made her special. You know what I mean? Like, that was the point. Like, the Third Eye tribe is just a tribe of people that just inherently have the ability to either hear the voices of all things, or with their third eye, they could just read anything. Like, any script is just instantly deciphered what the meaning is, something like that. Yeah.
We need something with that. And I mean, people have theorized that Killer is a member for a long time, and we still haven't seen it. And he always had bandages covering his forehead.
Yeah, because he was Kamazo, he still had bandages, so maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Killer was actually... he was looking like he could read it. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
What are you doing? Yeah. Also, oh my God, I just thought of an idea. Okay, Killer's walking around in that mask. Now, I know it's anime logic and all that, but does it look like you can look out of that mask? There's no peripheral vision in that fucking thing. You know what I mean? It's just like little tiny holes the size of like pins. What if he's an awakened Third Eye user and he doesn't even, it can see beyond sight or whatever the hell.
I mean, hey. Yeah, but that's also in a that goes to his observation hockey as well.
Yeah, observation too. Yeah,
I
don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Oda starts drawing things just because it looks cool and wants to resemble Daft Punk, and then suddenly we're sitting here saying, "Wait, no, but this has relevance."
But that Oda does do that stuff before. Sometimes he'll set it up as like, this is just aesthetic. There's no more of a greater point to this. And then it'll actually tie back into something relevant. And I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah. And the biggest one is like Zoro's scar. Did he just give Zoro a scar because it looks cool, or is there actually going to be something with the damn eye? You know what I mean? Like, I guess we'll find out. Yeah.
And then we have all of these different people out there with these, red ringed eyes. I did a video on that pretty recently because the merchandise. Saw that on here. Yeah. The merchandise for Gear 5th Luffy came out, and Luffy's got red eyes in that form, which I figured he would because I've been comparing it to the Sulong transformation and what happened to Hody. Mm-hmm. So Sulongs have red eyes, Hody has red eyes. There has to be some sort of correlation between.
Oh, holy shit! I didn't even think of that. Like the Tamate box, like the drugs they took.
Box, yeah.
That might be like an artificial way of like reaching Joy Boy's ability. Yeah.
Either Nika or the Sulong form. My theory was always the Sulong form until Nika showed up, and then it's like, what is the correlation between the Sulong form and Nika, and does it have to do with the fact that moonlight is just reflected sunlight?
Like, yeah. And then you have like sun gods and moon from the Sulong, but then you also have Lunarians, lunar, and it's just like, what?
Right.
Oda's going to do something big with like sun and moon going to be super relevant, and it's all going to probably tie into the sun because that's where all the light comes from. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And why did Stussy go to the tea party for the Tamate Bako box specifically? Because the world government wanted the pills because they have something to do with this.
Weren't Horty's eyes yellow on the chapter cover? I don't remember, but they might have been. I don't know. It's okay though. Yeah, it's an artificial, but you can still get across it with an artificial thing. You know what I mean?
But I mean, even then, they comment to Hody like, "What is this pure white transformation?" Like basically,
it's clearly
what Kaido, said to Luffy.
Exactly.
And then, but then there's like this eye thing, with Mihawk and Emu and Cavendish when he, switches into Hakuba, and
see that's that thing where like. I always assumed Oda was that's just Oda's depicting like they're a very serious character, very, very, very prominent moment, just drawing the character. Like when they have those ringed eyes, like even Nami at certain points in the story has the eyes like that. I think a lot of characters do.
But there are certain characters that have it like permanently,
all the time. And then, so you could write that off and say like, oh, that's just Oda depicting that character like very serious all the time, like Mihawk, and that's why they have the eyes. Or it could actually tie back into something that's really relevant, and that's like Oda's MO. Like he would 100% do that. Yeah,
I'm kind of the thinking right now that it has to do with curses, so it's like, what was it, 1036 or whatever tried to debunk the idea of like cursed blades or anything like that, but we could have a situation where, it's like Mihawk's sword is literally a cursed blade, and then that's what's giving him those eyes, Emu
something
could
like
be cursed. Cavendish's sword Durandal could be cursed, and like the entity of the sword is what's making Hakuba, and
maybe something like that.
And the awakening is like an interaction with the curse of the fruit.
Because like, weird because we saw Enma, and Enma behaves in a way that's completely every other sword in the series, where it have a life of its own. It can absorb your hockey, like siphon it off. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. I've never seen a sword do that. And shortly after that, we have the Zoro and Kozaburo. It's like, curse don't exist. It's just the weak-willed swordsmen wield them. And I'm like, yeah, but clearly there's something weird going on here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know. Do you see this jacket? Sorry, did I cut out there?
You cut out a little bit, yeah.
But it was just I keep cutting out shit.
No, it's all good. My guy Ty he's the one breaking the stream with his donation. He said, "Sorry, I'm late, Captain. Game duty trying to keep me away. My favorite worlds are colliding with Sir Tekking here. What up, Savage?"
Oh, thank you. But basically what I just said is like, Kozaburo talks about cursed swords not being really cursed, but then we have Enma which is clearly doing something else. And it's like, okay, what's going on with this then? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but basically, I mean, what I was getting at is essentially, what if this turns out to be something related to Zoro's eye, and then, it's, people have been saying, is it going to open up? And then it's like, we'll get a confirmation if we ever see Zoro's eye turn like that and go red. Because in the anime, Mihawk's eye is yellow, but in the manga, his eyes are red.
His eyes are red, yeah. And Eames, I think, are red too.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that'd be cool if Oda draws Zoro like opening his eyes like it's a red eye. It's like, does he have the Sharingan? Like, no, it's just he has the red eye though. It's like, that's cool. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh man, we're up to 1,200 people. Holy crap.
1,200 people.
Woo!
Like the stream. Subscribe.
Subscribe to Randy.
Yeah. It's gonna be really interesting to see where all of this goes and you know, and just where we go. We're at a really pivotal moment of the arc where it's just, what adventure is Oda going to take us on? And I really hope that it's just one more journey that is, you know, maybe separate from the motion of everything that's going on in the world.
You want like a moment to kind of catch your breath a little bit.
Yeah, I want I want a Zoe, I want a drum, a little garden, like something very isolated and just focused on the crew and, you know, not a lot of outside players. And then that's where they learn about everything going on in the outside world. And then we start the roller coaster.
Yeah, that would probably be, I mean, I would love that too, just because like, you know, we're, like I said, we're leaving Wano probably in the next chapter or two. And it's like, okay, do we want to just dive right into it? Or are we going to like, you know, like you said with Sphinx Island, I think that'd be the best place to go, because then that would really set up a lot of things. And it's like, okay, now we're prepared to just tackle like One Piece. Yeah.
I'll feel pretty disappointed if we never have a moment with Luffy and like Ace's grave. And I'd like it to happen before he becomes the Pirate King rather than after.
I've had this image in my head for years, and it's Akainu fighting against Sabo and Luffy. And then like the two brothers, and then like you have a ghostly, he's not actually there, but like a ghostly image of Ace. Like, you know, they all punch Akainu at once and they beat him that way or something like that.
I love that. A little bit like the end of
Stampede. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah,
I'd love that. I still need a character in the story that's going to drown. And I want it to be Akainu. That's what I would like. I'd like it to be like that's how he dies, like by falling into water, or it needs to be rocks. Like someone needs to have had a devil fruit and drown. You know, like
we thought it would be the entire Jack.
Story.
We thought it would be Jack, but then it's just like, actually, I'm a fish man. I'm like, damn it! When were you ever gonna get one?
Right.
Yeah.
One of the big bads.
Dude, how funny would it be if at some point in the One Piece story, some dude ate a devil fruit and then just like, yay, and then immediately fell off a cliff and drowned and he died. And it's just like, wow, he had Whitebeard's fruit like 300 years ago. And he's like, dead. Okay, got tree transferred. Oh my god.
Right. What do you think about a Davey backfight with the Cross Guild?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I want to see the Davey backfight again in maybe a more serious fashion, because like I'm on record saying that's like my least favorite part of the story, the Davey backfight arc, and it's because Foxy's there. I don't like Foxy's character, but the concept of like pirates
giving Tekking flashbacks.
Oh god, war flashbacks. No, seriously, I took so long.
No, beam.
And also the Nora beam, that's a cool ability. It's just Foxy has it. You know what I mean? I'm like, god damn it. Like I spent so long putting it off reading the Davey backfight arc. Like it was like recently that I actually sat down and read it. Like within the last 2 years is when I did it.
So Davey backfight was the first arc that I started from the beginning weekly.
Oh my god, okay.
Like I was weekly in Skypiea towards the end. So like Davey backfight was like, it's something that I remember very fondly, because I'm like, this is the first story that like I'm interacting with the community from the beginning.
Where did you read chapters back in like 2002? Were there like websites back then?
Yeah. So the Steven, the guy who does the translations for Viz, he used to have a website called Steven's Raws or Steven's Translations or something like that.
All right.
And you would actually read his typed out like text document while looking at the raw of the story.
That's kind of how they do the spoilers these days. Yeah, like that's how you'd have to do it back then, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that, and then eventually, like they started to. By the time we got to Water 7, people were doing scanlations and
One Manga was like one of the big ones back then. I remember that.
Because prior to that, the only scanlations that we had were these ones that were taken from like the Hong Kong. It was Chinese that was translated to Japanese and then translated into English. So you had things like Bisurumi Bear and Binami the Dash Hound for Bellamy the Hyena and like Sauron and
all these fun things
and just really weird names for different characters. So it was almost impossible to read.
To understand, but like you get the premise. Like, at least I guess you got the pictures, if nothing else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, we had the spoilers back then, and I up until right before the CP9 reveal, I read spoilers.
Okay.
And then by the time we started getting more like scanlations, it was worth it to wait. And I felt so good. I've talked about this before on streams, but I felt so good that I was completely unspoiled for the CP9 reveal. I didn't read spoilers that week. I got to that final page and I was like, oh, wow.
I wasn't even, my internet wasn't even capable like that back then. It was like dial-up shit. So I couldn't even like, I found out about it. Like, I can't remember if it was manga first or anime first, probably manga first. But I found out about that twist as well. I didn't know that was coming. Yeah. But
I had a lot of fun with Davey Backfight. You know, it's exactly what I want, like a Straw Hat focused arc. Like if you go back to that, you can't tell me there aren't some really amazing interactions between the crew.
Literally, the worst part for me is Foxy's existence. Everything else about that arc is great. Okay. I like the idea of like there's pirate games that's like a legend of a pirate island, which we find out is Hachinosu. And it's like, okay, cool, that's great. And it's like maybe a more serious pirate game could be played against the Cross Guild or against Shanks, because that's a big theory. Like, you know, the Straw Hats are going to go up against
Blackbeard,
Shanks.
Or
Blackbeard,
to get Robin.
Because you know that, like, if Rox was the one that invented the Davey back, you know that the games were not like Barrel Race and Groggy Ring. You know, they were like 10 steps in fire, and if you get shot, you're dead, you lose. You know what I mean? That's probably what
we definitely need the inversion of the the Davey back and all of that, where one of them is like really serious. But I also kind of like the idea now that we have the Cross Guild of like Luffy having a Davey back against Buggy, because his whole crew is like circus people. So it's like the only way that Buggy can win.
And also, I mean, like, you introduce the concept of a Davey back, and it's like never brought up again outside of like I think like OVAs and stuff, like Nebulandia. It was brought up there, but it's like we have to have another one in the story. It's like this is really big pirate thing that everybody knows about. It's like, okay, and we're just gonna do it once and never again. I'm like, okay, but you have to say it one more time.
Right.
God. Avast, ye barnacle-munching bilge rats.
Yeah, because at that point, technically, if because I'm just thinking about this now, but like for the combat part of a Davey back, Buggy wouldn't even have to put himself in the combat. No. He could send Crocodile, he could send Mihawk, he could put like somebody else to fight whoever was going to go up. And then what if that's how Zoro and Mihawk have their battle? You know,
oh my god! Yeah. You know, I don't want Mihawk fight.
Oh god! I'm like building this in real time. Hold on.
Yeah. Welcome to my life. Welcome to my world. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. So they're saving Luffy for the combat portion, right? They've already got Robin, and like it's all down to that, and then they think they've got it because Buggy's going to do it, and then he picks Mihawk, sends Mihawk in, and then Zoro like basically has it out with Luffy, like, no, you can't fight this, like, this is mine. And then it's all down to Zoro to get Robin back at that point. Like, that would be cool.
Oh my god, that would be perfect. Yeah.
Oh man.
You've just done a Tekking video. Now just go on about that for 15 minutes and you'll be good. And then add some animal facts at the end of it. You're set, Randy. There you go. Yeah.
That happens a lot on these streams, but man, like, I love it.
Oh my goodness, yeah. But I would love to see that again, absolutely. The Foxy Pirates are in the Cross Guild. Oh, fantastic.
Need that.
Yeah.
Or when we finally fight against Blackbeard, like Avalo Pizarro just shows up and goes,
yeah,
Nodo beam, and we find out Foxy was killed.
I did a whole video about that, like on like what would Blackbeard's like wish list of devil fruits be, and I went down the whole list, and I'm thinking, man, like Foxy's he's really stupid, so if you kill him and take his fruit, probably wouldn't be that hard for Blackbeard's crew, and that would be a pretty powerful ability to have. So like Oda could reuse some of these fruits that are like kind of used in a comedic way, but are now like a serious threat. Like Absalom having the clear fruit was kind of a threat, but it was more for like a joke kind of a thing at certain points. Because like Sanji wanted it and everything, but now Shiryu has it. That's a serious problem.
Yeah, I just need the Doro beam to be shot at Kizaru.
Yeah. The door fruit, like if Blackbeard were to, like if they were to kill Blueno and take his fruit, that would be powerful. Yeah. The 10th Titanic captain is Foxy. I love it.
I saw on Twitter that there was like a booklet that was paired with Film Red that doesn't spoil anything that's in the movie, but it was just like a companion piece. And I guess you don't find out about this in the movie. Blueno's in the movie, like he's on the posters.
I saw the there's sketch art of it, not sketch art. There's an art of him. Somewhere I saw.
But apparently Oda just put out confirmation that he's in Cypher Pole 0.
I mean, like I always assumed all of the remaining Cypher Pole 9 were like because they were together at their cover page, the Independent report. They looked like they were just going to sail off and do their own thing. Years later, Lucci and working on and Span there, and I'm like, wait, what happened in the last 2 years? Make any sense for Khalifa, Kumador even, and them to stay? So I assume they're all members.
Yeah. So the way that I see it, because the only way for me to justify it with the cover story, right? Because we finish Enies Lobby, and then they become essentially like, wanted. Right, the Marines.
They become rogue agents.
They're rogue agents, and then they have to be like captured, right? And then you see different interactions between like Maha and Guernica and Dripper Scarfano, as I call him.
Yeah, I saw everyone. I called him Ed, and everyone was like, he has a better name. I'm like, I'm gonna go with that. That's a good one.
What did you cut out? What did you call him?
I just called him He's lazy.
You cut
Damn
out again.
Hold on. Cutting out right when I'm about to speak. Hold on.
Yeah.
I just called him Fred. Fred.
Fred.
It was pretty. Like,
no. That's
Fred.
That's Stripper Scarfano.
That's Stripper Scarfano. Yeah, okay, that works better. I think what Oda's going for, naming him after famous Spanish artists, but it's like Dripper Scarfano works better. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean Oda didn't, R.I.P. Dripper. He's Dripper forever. That's it. Oda didn't give him a name. He just said, Randy, I'll let you have that one.
Hey, he got killed by Kaido. I mean, not everybody. I mean, he went off like a boss. You know what I mean?
Honestly, he's the MVP of Wano.
Really, kind of, yeah. I mean, without him, we wouldn't have Gear 5th, so, what I mean?
He's, Morge's greatest enemy. It's the reason the raid succeeded. But the things that they were saying, right? Like, that moment between Dripper and Drake where he's like, I envy you, right? Like, oh, you have agency. And, like, another agenda of mine is Sword versus Shield. And,
yes.
But the idea that Cypher Pole 0 doesn't have agency, like, I'm just wondering, like, did Lucci and the gang, Lucci and the boys, did they go and get captured, right? And then were they given like an ultimatum, like, okay, we're either going to lock you up, or you can essentially become slaves and be part of the Cypher Pole Aegis Zero unit that works directly for the Celestial Dragons. And then Lucci, with his bloodlust, just opted for that. Because without the agency that Dripper and like the rest of them have and everything, I just kind of get this impression like they physically cannot go against their orders.
So my theory with that is, for a long time I actually thought, what if the Cypher Pole 0 are like literally not robots, but they've been modified to the point where they can't think on their own. They can't, like, kind of like how the Germa are with Judge. They have to, like even Reiju said, I have to obey my father. I can't go against him.
There's
so
something
now
there too. I like that.
So now I'm going with like, what if Eames' power is just the strongest Conqueror's Haki in existence, where he can literally literally affect your will. Like he could just take your own willpower away.
Well, I mean, it would have to be Wi-Fi then, because I can't imagine Cypherpole Zero knows even knows Eam exists.
They don't, but that's what I mean. Like, well, yeah. So I was thinking about that, but also just like when we saw with Dripper and everybody, like they clearly have their own emotions. They clearly don't. Like Dripper did not want to go fight Kaido. He knew he was going to die. He's like, I don't really want to do this, but I have my orders. I have to. So it's either they have
die either way.
Yeah, they have an insane amount of leverage on them to the point where they have to obey, or it's like there is something else going on with the way they were modified or something. Because Dripper's like, if I go up there and fight Kaido, I'm dead. But if I refuse the order, I'm just going to get thrown in a jail cell like who's who and probably just get tortured and then killed. So, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So it's just, how do you go from the cover story to, chapter 906 with Lucci, appearing?
I think they were on their own for a while. And then the government sent some Cypherpool Zero agents to them, and then basically either gave them the ultimatum or told them something, and just be like, "You have to join," and they had no other choice. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some chats here.
Yeah. Tama will sit on the empty throne. Yeah, I think there's a pretty viable. Yeah. Very, very viable thought process for that, yeah.
Yeah.
Does Shanks know about Emu? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like Eam's existence is like the Gorosei and like 5 other people, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, it's really got to keep kept under wraps here.
For sure. Cassidy said, Tekking plus Randy is the best match I've seen since 1998, when the Undertaker
when Mankind took Hell in the Cell. Yep. I think I was there when that meme was created.
Yeah. So was I. Let's see. Ryan Holland said, Long Ring Longland introduces a non-violent way for crews to compete.
Yes.
Wonder if there is a crew that the Straw Hats want to prove themselves against
Shanks.
this way. Shanks.
Red hair.
Yeah. But I actually think that... So I think the second... Like, the absolute second that Luffy sees Shanks, the first thing he's going to do is punch him.
Oh, okay.
And,
interesting.
And then I just want Shanks to say, your punch really is a pistol now.
Yeah.
Because I think that in Luffy's mind, being better than Shanks is strength. It's because there's no way for Luffy to quantify being a great pirate rather than being strong. So in order to show that to Shanks, I feel like they're just going to have this battle for a couple of pages, and then they're going to laugh.
Yeah. Like Shanks, Luffy sees Shanks and just like instantly, Gear Third! It's just like giant fist, and then just like, oh, Luffy, you have a good punch. There you go, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then
Luffy does tend to do that. Luffy does tend to do that with Yonko. He just jumped into fighting Kaido like that. Kind of the same thing with Big Mom, you know what I mean? When we first saw her, he just kind of tried to attack her. So, yeah.
That's the way that Luffy thinks. That's the way that he wants to, match himself up. That's the only way for him to...
He has to measure the power gap, or it's not going to be, yeah.
Exactly. So, Chuck Hammond said, I think, like Viver cards, you can implant part of your essence into objects like Enma. Could also be part of your shadow goes into Black Blades.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But to dive deeper into that, I have to go into that long shadow theory. And let's see. Martin said, Mr. Tekking is the reason I watch all One Piece YouTubers.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, Yasop being reunited with Usopp, that's going to be... I love how we actually finally got like his opinion on that in one of the last chapters where Yasop was like, I'm not prepared to meet Usopp yet. And it's like, okay.
I don't want to see my sun disease.
Yeah, I don't want to see my son disease. I'm not ready yet. Like, people have like, does Yasop even know his wife is dead? Like, and I'm just like, I mean, I would assume, but
yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why he doesn't want to see him also.
That could also be the reason there.
Because he feels, he feels bad about his wife. So,
that's the way I took it. Yep. It's like, oh shit, now Banshina died. Usopp had to basically be raised orphan for the last 10 years. Now just being a pirate getting, and it's like, okay. Yeah. At least he's a better than Gene was from Hunter x Hunter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, Gene's kind of didn't even want to really meet. It was just kind of like,
well, Jing, he played, he took it a step, he went to the next level. He was like, hey, I'm going to make you think you're going to meet me. And then pull the rug out from you. Sorry, Princess is another castle, man.
Gene was just like messing with Gon. He was just playing, it was a game to him, kind of. That's the way impression I got. Like, right. I'm just going to mess with him. And at least Yasop is like, I want to meet Usopp, but I don't know if I can because of like, how am I going to face him and shit? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Very Motivated said, Tekking, if you could play a character in the live action, who would you play? And she said, I'm getting Mr. 9 vibes personally.
Oh, Mr. 9 would be fun. Actually, when I was at Anime Expo not too long ago, somebody actually gave me a Mr. 9 like doll they made. So there you go.
Wow.
I would play Mr. Knight. I would like to play anybody. Dude, if I could just play like random dude in a town, like I'm like working at a stall and like, Sanji walks by and buys some groceries. I'm like, here you go, sir. And then like, that's it. Like that would be my dream if I could do that.
I love that, Mr. Knight. Did someone custom make that?
Yes. That was a custom. Yes.
Oh man. That's incredible. It. Yeah. There's like, obviously I've got a ton of merch behind me, but there has literally never been a Mr. 9 figure made.
No one's gonna make any because he's Mr. 9. You know?
I like Mr. 9. I mean, I've even said like, oh, I'd play Mr. 9 too. But Alabasta is my favorite arc. So if I could collect all of the Baroque Works agents, like, I think I would.
Well. Alabasta's not for season 2 of the live action, probably. So I guess I have time to be cast as Mr. 9. It's not out of the woods yet. There you go.
Yep, there we go.
see how season 1 goes, and then we'll move on from there.
Yep, I'm very excited for it. Let's see. Did Disney buy the rights to Bleach?
I saw that this morning when I woke up. Someone said that like the 1,000-Year Blood War arc is going to stream on Disney Plus, which I find very weird because that's going to be very bloody and gory, and there's going to be like references. Like the Sternritter are basically kind of a reference to like Nazi Germany, and it's like, okay, I guess. This is weird, but I saw that this morning. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, I don't know. Mr. Hyena was asking about it, so I don't. I didn't know anything about it.
He's always in my streams. I don't know. Yeah.
No.
It's a streaming rights. Okay, they don't own the rights. They have streaming rights. It's a reliable leak. Okay, I'd have to double check into it. I don't know.
Shout out to my guy Tyrone Will. Said Harry for Chuji.
Trust me, you can track it.
Disney has they have mature rated stuff like Punisher. I didn't know that. Okay, well I guess it makes sense then. Because
you hear probably just have a advisory.
I'm still like I hear the word Disney, I instantly think like Mickey Mouse and like Tiny Toon Adventures or whatever the hell. You know what I mean? Like I'm still stuck like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Chuji is the lurking legend on my channel, similar to Barry is yours. So
Barry, yes.
Barry and Chuji here.
Barry lurks.
Yep. Drew Beat said, "Is Shanks in charge of the slave trade?" I doubt it.
No.
Yeah. I don't buy into the Shanks bad guy theory.
No, I don't think he's gonna be evil. No.
I think that he's an obstacle for Luffy.
Yes.
But I don't think that
there's more to him than meets the eye. He's nice to Luffy, but that doesn't mean like he's a good guy. He's still a pirate, you know what I mean? So he's probably killed a few people, but like he's not like this evil Machiavellian schemer that's like it was all Shanks the entire time, you know.
I mean, I do think that he's a schemer in the sense that he has an ulterior motive with Luffy, but like it's for the betterment of the world.
It's for the betterment of the society, not like Blackbeard who wants to like burn everything down. That's not Shanks not going to be like that.
No. Yeah, I'm going to give that a reach.
Yeah, there you go. It's kind of a thing because, you know, you hear theories about this story all the time and it's like at first you'll hear a theory and it's like, that's stupid. There's no way that's going to happen. But then if you spend like enough time, you can kind of convince yourself of anything. And it's like, Carrot was eating Odin in the last chapter. Maybe she is going to, damn it. Now that is starting to make sense.
Right. Well, there was a bunch of people saying, oh, Mihawk bent the knee to Buggy. And I was just like,
no. Oh, but there is something interesting that a few people have brought up. Did you notice, you might have to go back and look at the chapter, but it looks like Mihawk has another scar on his chest. And I can't tell if it's a scar or if it's just like the way that Oda's just drawing his like body.
Yeah, people were bringing that up to me. They were asking me about it. I said we're not going to know until we get a better look at it because it really could be either. And I'm leaning more towards just a drawing accentuation.
Yeah, that's just an accentuation, kind of the same way because Oda does the line, because the way he draws scars is with the lines, but that's also the way he does the shading with like that's onto a crocodile's face, like the sunken in eyes is the same thing. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just for dramatic effect. That's how I feel about it. Yeah.
GOAW said, where is the Toki Toki no Mi?
Isn't that $1 million question?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's another thing about Wano that it's just getting on the back burner. The fruit existed, it doesn't now.
Absolutely. Yep. We did the time travel story. Moving on.
Right. No more messing with time until we actually see Toki in a flashback jumping through until the moment that she meets Odin.
She pops back and then I don't know.
Yep. Up here. Yeah. Drew Beats said, will Doflamingo get broken out of jail? If so, by who? And if so, what will he do? So, I mean, I have actually, I've talked about this. I mean, I do think that there's going to be a second Impel Down breakout.
Oh, yeah. I think we have to get Doflamingo back in the story somehow. I don't think he's just going to spend the rest of his time in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's going to be the equivalent of Crocodile at Marineford when we get to the final war. He's gonna he's gonna have some feats.
He's gonna pop in out of nowhere.
Yeah, something has to happen at Impel Down, and I would actually love if that's the thing that the narrator was talking about as far as like the Grand Fleet will do something great in the future.
Yeah.
So instead of Luffy having to make a return to Impel Down and like get people out and anything like that, like the Grand Fleet just goes and does it.
They just completely obliterate it this time around. You know what I mean? Like,
right. And then we get Bon Clay out, Doflamingo gets out, everybody gets out. The whole world just gets turned upside down because that's basically what
and you could also get some new characters. I mean, some old characters back like Pika, Treble, Diamante. If they're still alive, they probably all got thrown in there too. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of other characters that have been defeated that probably wound up back in there. So yeah.
That could also be how we get Foxy back.
Damn it.
But I don't think I'm banking on Hancock not being there.
Oh no, I don't think Hancock got captured. I think she's fine.
I do think that Hancock got captured.
You do? Okay.
Yes, I think that she's one of, if not the only one of the warlords that did, and that we are going to follow on the story that she was built upon by her being taken to Marijoa.
So you're going, so just so she could get back to Marijoa, and then we could do the whole thing with that. Okay, yeah, I've heard that theory before, yeah.
And then it gives Luffy a, even more of a reason to go and, like, take down Marijoa, because he's got to get Hancock back. And, it's meaningful because, we learned about the hoof of the Soaring Dragon because of Hancock, which was told to Luffy. So it's one of the sad backstories that Luffy is actually, like, listened to.
Yeah.
So I feel like it has to come back in some way, whether or not it is Kobe actually defeating her, which Kobe needs a feat in the story, or if it's, Fujitoro was there and because he's blind, it makes no difference whether
he's immune to the power,
Yeah.
Maybe. That's not bad. I did a 3-part series on, like, if the Straw Hats like raided and attacked Marijoa, and it was, like, a lot of fun to all the hypotheticals.
Yeah. Oh god. Would you rather have the Swamp fruit or the Yamato no Orochi fruit? 2 great fruits for terrible users. I don't know if the Swamp fruit is a great fruit.
I mean, the Swamp fruit's awesome. You basically have an infinite pocket dimension where you can keep, like, anything you want inside. Yeah, so I just go with that.
But you're a swamp. Like,
yeah, but not all the time. Not all the time. You can turn it off. It is musty. You have to turn it off, though. Yeah.
That's a no for me, dog. No.
That brings up an interesting question. Like, Ace had the power of the fire fruit. Did he always smell like smoke? Did he always smell like a burning fire? I don't know. I don't think he did. Yeah.
That's a, certainly.
Does Akainu always smell like molten sulfur? Like, I don't think so. So yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's okay.
I would actually opt to eat neither of those fruits.
Which Logia would you want?
Man. My favorite is Aokiji's, but I don't like the idea of being cold. I just like ice powers and stories.
Right. Well, you wouldn't feel cold. You'd be immune to cold, if anything.
I mean, if it worked that way, then sure.
I'm assuming it worked that way. I don't think Aokiji always feels cold. I don't think that's how it works. Yeah. Or if he does, it's like he doesn't feel it personally. Even if it's like he's cold to the touch all the time, then it's,
I guess Kizaru's would be the most practical.
Probably. Yeah, you just fire lasers and shit, and you can it's not teleportation, but it might as well be. Yeah, it might as well be. Yeah. Let's just do that, yeah. The gas is underrated. I mean, you get to fly, sure, but you could do that with the Pika Pika no Mi too, so I'm just going to go do that. Anaru's would be fun.
I'd prefer to have a Paramecia if I was like, if I had to choose any sort of type.
I mean, I've been on record. People have asked me this like millions of times over the years. I'm gonna go with the Op fruit if I get to choose, because that's like you could do everything. That fruit, it's OP. You get everything. Yeah. Like it'd be just clean your house. It'd be like my kitchen is dirty. Room done. Easy.
It's the most practical in real life. Like
yeah.
So.
Like I'm de-weeding a garden right now. Do you know how easy that would be? And just room. New soil, done. Just. Yep.
Oh man. Six Pain said, would love to hear you guys, specifically Tekking's expectations and wishes on the live action.
Oh, I'm looking. I keep cutting out though. I don't want to. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think the actors are all good. I've done a video about that, talking about them. I'm apprehensive about it, just like any other live action anime adaptation. There's been like 5 of them that have been good out of like dozens. So I think season 1 will be fine. There's not a lot of crazy stuff they really need to do in season 1. Just the East Blue, like the set design and everything. I saw the set design of the Baratier. That looked really good. Arlong Park, I think, will look fine. But my concern is if it keeps going, like, how are we going to do Little Garden? I don't think Little Garden's going to have, like, a Jurassic Park budget, so how's that going to look? What about Skypiea? When they get to Skypiea, how's that gonna look? When we get to these really elaborate locations, like how is it gonna be depicted? You know what I mean?
I think I think they've got the technology to make it look right now.
I hope so.
And if they can maintain the budget or increase it across the seasons, it's gonna
I would feel like season 1's
there,
gonna make it or break it. Season 1's gonna make it or break it, and I hope in the season 2 they have a way bigger budget. Their budget's pretty good right now, but I think it needs to be even better to make season 2 work.
Yeah. Everybody's just got to give it a chance and let it get there, though.
Yes.
That's the
one thing I love, though, is that Jamie Lee Curtis actually expressed interest in playing Kureha, because everyone wants her to play Kureha, and I'm like, dude, she would be perfect for it. So if you get her, I mean, she's a major actress. I mean, she's big time.
Oh yeah,
that'd be really cool. That'd be really
she's
cool
also
to see
read the story.
She reads the story. Her daughter loves it. So yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and she's gone on record saying her favorite character is Chopper and all that.
There you go.
So it works.
It works. It works. I would love to see her in that.
And she said if she was younger, she would love to be Robin.
Yeah, that was funny.
So there were a couple of chats, one from Maxo and Kyle here, asking us about what Marines that we think are going to have bounties on them that pirates are going to actively go after. Which ones we think are the highest that are going to be in like.
The ones practical to the story would be Kobe having a bounty, Smoker having a bounty. That would be a thing. Yeah, the admirals, of course.
I would love to just have an entire chapter where we're just cutting to different Marines and catching up where they are, and they're like different pirates or even just random people like going after Marines and trying to collect the bounties.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just cut to Kobe and like Kobe's being like chased on an island by some other like pirates, and then we see him like take them out, something like that. Or Smoker's having a war battle against some people that want his bounty.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, a sea battle.
Oh, God, yeah. We don't get a lot of sea battles in this story, ironically enough.
Right, yeah. I think the admirals are going to have, their bounties are going to be up there with, Yonko
Yeah, they're
level.
Yonko level bounties, yeah.
Yeah.
Also brought up, how does the Cross Guild have all this money to pay for all the bounties? And it's like, well, you have Crocodile, who might have been gaining money the last 2 years, but then people have brought up... Captain John's treasure, which Buggy probably found. It's been 2 years, and he has all these people to help him, and he had the bracelets, so it's like, yeah, he probably just got the treasure.
So one thing I would love is if wherever Law goes next is actually where the Cross Guild is.
Yeah.
Because I just need Law and Buggy to try fighting. And
I want to see that.
Because Buggy may be a counter to Law's ability. Right?
Yes.
Because and then that would be just another thing for Buggy's appreciators and loyalists and all that to see this, crazy pirate Trafalgar Law, and his power has no effect on Buggy.
No, so what? Yeah. That would be so funny. That's been a thing that's been up there for so long. So would Buggy just be immune to Law? And I'm like, well, Law has other moves like counter shock and stuff. So that stuff, not really. But just in terms of doing shambles, I don't know. But then Law also has an ability that he specifically mentioned, Radio Knife, which is it doesn't matter what ability you have, you cannot paste yourself back together after this, because it literally magnetically charges your body in opposite polarities. So if he hits Buggy with that, even if he avoids getting cut, he won't be able to paste himself back together right away. So, yeah.
I just want to see Law, fail to, do anything to Buggy and just go, I see why you're an emperor.
Oh, yeah. That's so funny in the last chapter because Law never really met him. The only time he met Buggy was at Marineford when Buggy threw Luffy's hat at him or whatever. And that was it. It's just he's never actually met him. So from Law's perspective, it's this guy's, used to be on Roger's crew. This guy's a friend with Shanks. This guy's he's a worthy Yonko. We got to watch out for this dude. And then Luffy's in the background no, he's a fucking idiot. Just trust me. He's a moron. Just you don't know him, Just, yeah. I love it. I love it.
Oh, man. Oh, God. I love it. I love it. I need it. Yeah.
I do.
So it's I need Luffy to go to Sphinx. I need Kid to maybe go to Elbaf. and then be the bad guy of Elbaf, and then Law goes wherever the Cross Guild is.
Cross Guild Island. Yeah, nice. I would honestly just like you said though, I would like to focus just on the Straw Hats specifically for the next arc, not jump around between everybody, and just like, can we just have an arc with the Straw Hats? Like, even if it's like 12 chapters, just something like that. So like, whatever.
Something like, that we got at the beginning of Time Skip.
Absolutely.
Or just something that just feels pre-Time Skip for a little bit. We're not carrying anybody to go somewhere again. We're actually using the log pose for the first time in the New World.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, I went back, and it's like, I think the only other time they used it was when they got into Totland. They had to follow a certain route through the islands. Like follow Compass 1 to Jam Island, and then Compass 3 to Bread Island, and that was the only time they've actually used it.
Yeah, but I mean, does that really count? I mean, the last time they really used it was when they popped out of the water from Fishman Island, and it was like,
but
they didn't even go to the island.
They didn't even go there anyway. So it's like, oh my God,
because they were supposed to go to Raijin Island.
They didn't even need the log post. I think they would have been fine if they just didn't have the log post. They would have been fine. Yeah. Nami is just like, this is my job, and like, come on.
Yeah.
Why do you even have a navigator, Luffy? Oh my God. How long do you usually stream for, man?
Generally, when it's a chapter, I usually go about 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, I've just been having fun.
Yeah, it's great.
We're certainly at the point where, we could start wrapping things up.
Yeah.
We still have we've had a consistent 1,200 people in here.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah. Which is, appreciate everybody in here.
Thank you, everybody. This was fun. Anytime you want to do this again, just let me know, man.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that.
No problem.
And, let's see, any final questions in the chat?
Yeah.
And, we'll let our special guest for the day go, and we'll be back here for 10:57 next Friday at the same time as we always are.
So what do you think about the next chapter? Like, what do you think? It's just going to be like Yamato focused, or like we're going to see other parts of the world, or what?
So I think that it needs to be Yamato focused. Like, if Yamato is joining, I think the biggest and most safe bet is that Momo turns into a dragon and like flies over to where the ship is, so he can have like a Vivi goodbye, similar to that. Because it doesn't seem like Momo is going with them or anything.
Kind of
like that.
Sucks too that they didn't say bye to Momo or Keen.
It's because
I get it.
It's because Oda's trying to build out this tension and this drama, and have the goodbye mean something. So he'll have Momo like fly over as a dragon, and maybe he'll have Tama, he'll have Carrot, he'll have everybody, and everybody will be able to say goodbye at the same time as they go.
That'll be fun. Yeah, it'll probably be something like that. Yeah.
So, we do something like that, and it ends with something as iconic as the fists in the air, and then the following chapter, them on the seas trying to get to wherever the next island that they're trying to go.
It makes sense to me.
And if somebody is on the ship,
Carrot pops out like, yep, let's just keep on traveling, ladies and gentlemen. Like, okay, great. Fantastic.
Right. Yamato pops up from the back. It's just like, oh, I'm here too. Thanks for the ride,
I'm here
guys.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not going to join your crew. I'm just going to get another ship somewhere else.
It's like there's like, it just gets ridiculous. There's like 7 barrels on the Sunny. Like, Yamato pops out of the first one, then Carrot, then Otama, then Shinobu, then Kinemon. And it's just like, oh my God, you're all traveling with like Neku and Ino there for some reason. It's like, oh, and then out
of the clouds, never ending story. Momonosuke just comes in.
Yeah, just like, I'm here too now, whatever. Hiyori will run the country just fine. Oh, Hiyori's here too. What? It's just like,
crew members just start popping out.
Another one.
Oda's just like, everyone's wondering how many more Straw Hats there are going to be. I'm just going to add 7 more members right here, right now.
Oh God. I mean, who knows? Who knows? There's credence for all of them.
Yeah. That's what makes it fun to talk about it.
Yeah. Darth Chelion said, "What happened to Vivi? Did the revolutionaries take her, or Eam?" Personally, I think
I like to think
snuck her out.
Oh, really? You were going with that? I think she's in a dungeon somewhere in Marijois right now.
Well, that's what they said. I don't. I don't think she's in Marijois. I think that she's either with three options. She got slapped by Kuma to somewhere that the Straw Hats are going to go. She's with Sabo because he has a Viver card to Luffy, and she's on her way to Luffy. She's with Leo and or Sai because they also have a Viver card to Luffy. And this is all, it's just my agenda because Vivi has to come back to the crew. I don't think that Vivi's going to be the person that they have to go and save.
You know what? I have to rework that theory because that was before we just got that recent information that Sabo escaped. You know, I always assumed Sabo's going to be in the dungeon with Vivi and then they'll escape Marijois together. But Sabo didn't get captured. He got away. So it's like, okay, now I have to rework the Vivi thing because it doesn't make any sense for her to be there. If like she would be, like she would never meet the Straw Hats then again. And that has to happen at some point. So yeah.
Yeah, I never thought that Sabo got captured or died because...
I never thought he died.
Yeah, but I just didn't think that Oda would go. You know, I didn't think that he was going to retread the Ace thing so exactly. You know, like I would love it personally, and I've talked about this a lot. Is that if the person that is captured in the final war is actually Luffy, you know, at some point in the story, and that's how Oda flips it. And then everybody that Luffy has saved across the entirety of the story, they all pull up to New Marineford or Marijoa to save him. Okay. And then, like, they get him out, and then, like, you know, final battles and all that kind of stuff.
That works way more than, that's way better.
So, let's see. Ender Connor, if Elbaf is the next arc, will we see Emerald City on top of the Atom Tree as the point of High West, similar to the Golden City? I mean, I'd like Emerald City to mean something, you know, Bellamy mentioned it, but I don't know if it's going to have anything to do with Elbaf. And I actually think the implication is that the Emerald City was actually Greenbit and the...
Yeah, because that's where Nolan went to visit the Tontatas. Also, I like just because it's Yggdrasil, the tree, the world tree, and at the top of it, I thought it would be cool if, like, at the top of the world tree is a sky island. Like that would be like the different, the different realms of, because if you look at a map of Yggdrasil, it's kind of like Midgard, Earth is in the center, and then the tree goes up and then into the sky, and there's different realms off the tree, like Asgard and all that shit. And it's like, okay, that could be sky islands, and then it goes under like the roots, and that's where like Helheim is and shit. That could be like, you know, undersea islands and places like that, because we've already seen those. Fishman Island wasn't the only one. There's other settlements on the sea floor. So it's, I don't know, maybe we'll find out.
And I mean, we could at that point, you know, just start hitting some fables. You know, Elbaf fable.
Absolutely.
As they get up there, fee fi fo fum. Parvision. Switch added $10.56 for the recent chapter. Said, since Randy is a One Piece sage essentially from 2002, 14-year-old raging at 4 kids, lol, and Tekking is the encyclopedia that rivals the One Piece wiki. Is the last saga getting you excited? Much love to kids.
Actually, no, last saga's not getting me excited. I don't feel it.
Nah.
Oda hasn't had
Story's
this
been going
story
on
on
too
lockdown. Yeah, this series should have ended right after Drum Island. That would have been the perfect place to end it. And just like, of course, I'm really pumped. Yes,
I'm more amped than ever after the Cross Guild.
Yeah, the Cross Guild. Just the name is so badass. I love it. That does not sound like something Buggy would come up with either. It's just the Cross Guild. Yeah.
Right. Anime Dimension. It was indicated that Sabo escaped from Holy Land. Why does if that's the case, why did Makino cry and why was Dadan sad? One, because they didn't know that he was even alive. And then now they're finding out that he's assassinating kings. You know,
so that's messed up. Yeah, there's a story there that they're not like, because Makino and Dadan, that's like Sabo was like a little brother, like a little kid to like Dadan for like, you know, that's like her son. So you read in the paper like your son committed murder. It's just like, and we don't know where he's at. Like, I think you're gonna cry over that. You know, that's a little bit upsetting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. 3-day trip. What do you think Shanks will do to Bart for burning his flags? By the way, love both of you guys. Appreciate that. I did you see this meme that's floating around where it's like Shanks like trying to kill Bart, but he's just laying there with the.
I think it's gonna be a thing where it's like he's gonna show up. Bartolomeo is gonna explain that he loves Luffy, and then Shanks is like, "Okay, I like Luffy too, but I still have to like punish you for what you did. I can't just like let you get off for free." But it's gonna be like a slap on the wrist kind of thing. Maybe Lucky Roo will like punch Bartolomeo by by surprise. And then just like, okay, now you can travel with us or do whatever. Just, you know, like you can't be doing this shit to our islands.
He has Bartolomeo join the One Arm Club.
That would be funny. He's like, all right, it has to be an arm or a leg. Pick one.
Oh man, yeah. So let's see. Yeah. I think that's everything. So
cool.
It was fun,
man.
Appreciate everybody
Thanks.
for coming out today. And Tekking, where can people find you?
Oh, I mean, I think people can find me. I YouTube, like just type in YouTube Tekking101, you'll find me. I have Twitter, but I don't really use it. I have Facebook, but I don't really use it. I have like Spotify and stuff. I just started doing that recently, and Bleach podcast should be starting relatively soon, sometime this month, and that'll be Bondcast, and we'll see how the dynamic of that's going to work. But yeah, thanks.
So I want to thank my guest Tekking. We'll be back here on Friday for 10:57. The VOD for this will be likely moved over to the second channel after a little bit. I'll cut a portion of it up, and or highlights, and I'll put that on the main. And and then we'll probably do some Twitch, maybe. What day is it? Today's Friday.
It's Friday the 12th.
Yeah. The new episodes are coming out with the filler.
Yeah.
So we're gonna we'll watch that on Twitch.
It's not really a filler. Sunday. It's a movie tie-in this week. I think, which is that's going to be a fun one. I kind of want to see that.
I'm excited for that. I'm really excited.
I am actually, because that'll fill in. I think it's mostly just going to be the fill-in of how Uta and Luffy knew each other from when they were kids. I think that's going to be the focus. So that'll be pretty fun to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll watch those on Twitch on Sunday. Probably do some gaming on Tuesday, and we'll be back here on Friday. So let's thank everybody in the chat. Thanks
Tekking. Everyone.
Drop those Buggy emotes in the chat.
How about we thank you, Randy? Thank you.
Oh.
Yes, you deserve it too.
Later, everybody.
See you, everyone.
Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, cut out a few times on my end. My internet, I don't understand.